in my life, this is my time. Step up, rise up, fight first, bring it on.
Hello all in SWF, this is your next Remus Talks episode. Now, just before I'm heading out to accomplish my tasks for the rest of the day, I thought it'd be necessary for me to talk about the next person everyone was wanting me to talk about. That person is one of my closest current friends right now, other than Richard Knights. His name is Robert DeCaro. Now, me and DeCaro have a bit of history that, if you haven't been keeping up with SWF, would be a bit confusing to you. You see, the first time I met DeCaro, I believe was at Mosborough. I remember him vaguely back then. He always came across as a veteran within the company, just like a few others in SWF. But I did notice at first that he was being treated differently compared to everyone else. There was something about him that was different. Something compared to people like Crimson, compared to people like Psychosis, compared to people like Crisis. And for a while, I was stuck as to what that actually was. And then, I only had to see the interactions between him and Sidesplitter, and I immediately figured out what it was. Immediately figured it out. He's not very well liked anymore. Now, the reason for that, I'm not entirely sure, but I know that relationships have broken down between him and Sidesplitter. And the way I see it, whatever Robert DeCaro had to offer Sidesplitter at one point, clearly Lawrence has already used up. But it's one thing to hear it from me. Why don't we hear what he has to say about certain things that have happened from the horse's mouth himself? This little clip that I have is something that Robert DeCaro gave to me. Just something so that I could play it to all of you, so then you can understand why he's done what he's done. And maybe explain what it is that he's wanting now. So, here you go.
Thank you, Remus. I gotta say, it's a bit of an honour to be a part of Remus Talks, a very successful series, basically getting down to the nitty gritty of what SWF has become. Now, basically he's asked me what I want to talk about. Well, I want to talk about how I've been treated. See, when I joined SWF, about 3 years ago, I was on a roll. I was on the top of the mountain. I was the next best thing. I mean, no one can match my skill, my drive and my determination. Hell, I became the Intercontinental Champion and the World Heavyweight Champion. But after I won those titles, what happened next? Oh yeah, that's right. I got mistreated. I got misused. I didn't even defend my titles half the time because our so-called leader just couldn't be bothered to let me defend what was rightfully mine at the time. And then when I've lost those titles, I was down a downward spiral for a whole year and a half. People keep saying that I was getting what I want, saying that I was one of Lawrence's favourites. No, I wasn't. I'm not his favourite. I'm just a better wrestler than he is. In fact, I'm a better wrestler than half that damn roster. They can't match my skill. They can't match my drive. But everyone's now asking me, why did I do it? Why did I betray SWF? Why did I betray my so-called friends? Why did I side with Remus Caine? Well, simple. Because Remus showed me the truth. And despite the fact that some of you might thought that his little attack on me was just a brutalist way of taking me out. It was more of an awakening, because he showed me that Lawrence and the rest of you just didn't give a shit about me. Even if I was half dead, none of you gave any shit about me. So most of you now are just, surprised that I decided to help Remus win his match at Redemption. Most of you keep calling me a sellout. Most of you keep calling me a bitch, or Remus's bitch. But Remus just did the right thing for me. He brought me into the society. See, that is what I think needs to happen. The society is a true breed of superstars, a true breed of people, individuals that have excelled beyond expectations. And believe it or not, the society will rule SWF. It's only a matter of time. So, yeah, that's what I think. SWF has become nothing more than a cesspit full of indulging, undeserving people who think they're that good that they don't need to do a day's training. That they think just because they've got the boss in their pocket, they can get whatever they want. Well, that's not going to happen anymore. Because if there's one person who deserves to be a champion, to be the champion, to be the world champion, that is Remus Caine. And believe it when I say this, as God is my witness, I, the man of destiny, Robert DeCaro, will make it my mission to help him become that world champion. So you could either side with the society, or you can get destroyed by the society. So, Lawrence, keep ignoring our challenges, keep ignoring our demands, because we'll just take it out on your so-called little roster, on your little brigade, one way or the other. We're not going to fuck about anymore. You've had your chance. Now, we're going to take it. So, back to you, Remus. This is going to be very interesting, and what we do to these fuckers.
That was a beautiful video package, I must say. And I thank you for your nice compliments and your words. And a lot of what you've said is true. A lot indeed. It just goes to show that Lawrence and whoever associates himself with are very backstabbing individuals. SWF has become less of a wrestling company, more of a trophy hunting ground for individuals like him. So they can take out the competition and not have to worry about any reprisals whatsoever. And the biggest competition for him at that point was Robert DeCaro. I mean, you heard from Robert DeCaro himself. You heard about the accomplishments that he managed to achieve. He was certainly no small member of SWF, and yet he was relegated to almost nothing. Now, when I saw this, I had to see if his passion was still there in SWF. I had to see if he was still the same Robert DeCaro that he was all those years ago. And yes, I had to shake the hornet's nest a bit to be able to do that. But I saw immediately that he was wanting to take anyone on, whether they be new, whether they be someone who had been in the company for years and years. He wanted to prove that he was one of the best, and he would do anything to do that. And he would even fight me for it. Well, now he doesn't need to do that. Now he has the opportunity to become better and better and better, and he knows that. He is someone that I can consider as an essential piece. You're all playing checkers, but we are playing chess. And each of the pieces has its own role, and Robert DeCaro fills one of those roles for us. We all fill a role here in the society. And I have to say that certain people are expressing interest in joining the society. And that pleases me that my message is not falling upon deaf ears. Unlike some people, isn't that right, Side Splitter? Yes. We're on 3 now? 3. That's 3 people that's going to be hurt because of your negligence. 3 people who could have just easily had an easier life in SWF, who could have just kept on continuing the way they were, but now, because of you, we're going to have to hurt them when we come back. Are you really going to let that 3 become a 4? I really hope you do not. And if you do, you truly do not care about SWF, do you? You do not care about the people in it. Otherwise, you wouldn't let this happen in the first place. Now, you might do whatever to be able to protect them from me. But as we can quite clearly gather from my history, it's very easy for me to be able to find where people are, whenever and wherever I want them. That includes you, Lawrence. If I so chose to, if it wasn't for this virus, I'd march my way over to your house, drag you outside, and beat the ever-loving shit out of you. Because that's something I can do very easily. You just remember that, and that's exactly what you're going to put these people through, if I don't end their careers. Robert, I just have a few things for you. They are not negatives, but I do genuinely want to know what you want to do now. I have given you the power that you need to become greater in SWF, and I know that you wish to serve the society. But the society will all have their own gold. Even Richard Knight's has to have something. Not a title, perhaps, but something. After all, he is the greatest manager that has ever graced SWF. And it's only fitting that he has a reward of some kind. After all, he has put so much effort into this. But you, Robert DeCaro, you need a title. You need something. And what I want to know from you is, which one do you want? Do you want to go after the United Kingdom champion, Crisis? Do you want the hardcore champion in Crimson? Would you like to become a team and take those tag belts away from the Demon Nation? Or perhaps you would like the Intercontinental title back from Kieran Hayes. Now, the world title is mine, I must assure you. But that is one title out of many that you can have. And I will make sure that I will get you to that position. As the crowned princes be my witness, we will all be champions. And that is the truth. It'll only be a matter of time. You just remember that. You have a lot of potential, DeCaro. Remember that. But leave a like, share, and subscribe. And click up here so you can vote on which wrestler you would like for me to talk about next. Oh, and don't forget to hit the bell icon as well, so you can stay updated with all future videos that are to be uploaded up here. This has been Remus Talks, and I will see you all in the next one.
Get on!